Hello and welcome to Conversations with Lady Pruitte. I am so happy to have with me today Connie, who I consider one of my spiritual daughters. Connie, hello.
Hi. Hi, Mother Pruitte.
Hello. Connie, I want you to introduce yourself and let us know if you're married, have children, and also let us know where you're from.
So, yes, I am all of the above. I'm married to Samuel Lopez. I have 2 children, and both of us are from Tennessee.
Wonderful. What part of Tennessee?
I'm from Memphis, but my husband is from a small hick town called McMinnville.
It's called what?
McMinnville.
McMinnville. Okay, never heard of that. My husband.
You wouldn't.
I got you. My husband's family is also from Memphis, and his dad actually lives in a little, like, one street light town that doesn't even have a hotel, named Bolivar. So, I know there's a lot of little towns in Memphis or in, suburbs of Memphis that people don't know about. Wonderful.
I'm familiar,
All right, so
I'm familiar with Bolivar.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, good. I guess it's a little more known than your husband's hometown.
Yes.
All right, your children. You have boy, girl. What mix do you have?
I have a boy. My son's name is Omar, and he's 7, going on 8. And then I have a daughter. Her name is Alina. She just turned 5.
All right, wonderful. So, Connie, I do understand that one of your children is a special needs child. So could you tell us, like, when did you discover it and kind of how that journey was for you?
Okay, so the discovery phase. We were actually stationed in Germany because my husband's in the military. So we were stationed in Germany when my son was diagnosed with autism. Well, at the time he was diagnosed with severe autism, sensory processing disorder, and ADHD. And the type of autism that he had was called regression autism, where he would learn a skill and then he would lose the skills he had just learned. So you can imagine a great deal of frustration. So when we went overseas, he talked, he walked, he met all of the normal milestones, but he slowly lost them. And that's when we knew something wasn't right. And so my journey for that, I live by this quote that God gives special babies to special people. And that when you're working with a special, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So
that's a wonderful way to think about it. Also, so then once it was discovered, like you said, in Germany, were there doctors or people there, resources that you needed for him there, or what did you end up having to do?
At the time, there was not a lot of resources available. Germany kind of followed the rule of their children. You have to let them be children, and maybe they'll grow out of it. So the resources there were very limited. I was able to get him speech and physical therapy, but as far as like ABA, which is applied behavior analysis, I wasn't able to get. And we couldn't leave the country right away because I was pregnant. So we had to stay in the country until after I had my daughter. But while we was there, I was able to get my son in the public school, the U.S. public school that was on the base. So he went 2 hours a day, and he received like a lot of one-on-one specialty care during that time.
Okay, that's good. So now, was he already school age when he went there, or were they doing those services, before he turned 5 years old?
No, so yes, so there's an early intervention program. So when your child is diagnosed with a special need, there's an early intervention program where, they run diagnosis tests and, a series of I guess, fun test. And if the child qualified, they put them in public school where they go ahead and start working on certain skills, getting them ready for, kindergarten. And so my son started school at 2, and it was like a early preschool.
Oh, okay. I can see that. So he did that in Germany. So then when did you guys, when did you leave Germany then?
We left, I want to say 8 months after I had my daughter. So we petitioned for a compassionate reassignment because we were supposed to stay in Germany for 7 years. And we knew that there was not enough resources to help our son because he wasn't making much progress. So we put in the paperwork to have us transferred to Virginia. And that's how we wound up here, because Fairfax County have a lot of resources for special need kids and military families. This area is like a military hub for special need spouses, children, dependents. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, how did you find out specifically that it would be Fairfax County? Because there's so many different counties here in Virginia.
So what we did was we looked at the areas. So we didn't dive into Fairfax County specifically. We chose DC. We chose areas that had the resources. So like DC, California, Texas, Virginia came up on the list very strong. And so when we met with our system navigator, they informed us that if you go to Virginia, you can take advantage of the county resources as well as private resources. And they moved us here.
Oh,
the military
okay.
moved us.
That's wonderful. I'm glad you were able to find that through Fairfax County. We do know, Fairfax County is one of the largest counties here in Virginia, and it also has a lot of resources. And it's a very rich county. As a matter of fact, it's like number 4 in the United States. So that was wonderful that you were able to to come and be placed here. All right. So then, what were some challenges that you ran across as you were trying to obtain help for your child?
Okay, so the main challenge I had when I first got here was it wasn't the lack of resources, it's the lack of accessibility. So, there are ABA clinics, pediatric clinics, autism clinics all throughout Fairfax. But, however, there is a 1 year to 2 year wait list.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Then on top of that, not every clinic offer all the services. So at one point, I was going to 3 different clinics for 3 different services, every day, which was bananas. So that was one of the challenges that I had. Another challenge that I had was not every therapist or clinic is the right clinic or therapist for your child. Personality, my little special has a very unique personality.
Yes.
Just very straight to the point.
Yes.
The answers are yes, no, and there's a level of authority with those answers. So his personality just did not always click with the therapist.
Therapist. I can see that because I know little Omar, and Omar's very direct. If he doesn't like something, he'll tell you in a minute, I don't like this, or this is boring, I'm out.
Yes. And so if you're softer in nature, it just, it just wouldn't work. He only responded well to authoritative sound, stern, well-disciplined voices. That's how you command his attention. But if you come at him, no.
Wow, that's something. I tell you what, one of the things, so funny because children are so different. And I personally don't have a special needs child, but I can think of 2 of my daughters who had totally different personalities, and they needed every time it was time to, to go to the next grade, I was always trying to be very careful of which teacher they got because their personalities are so different. I remember my one of my daughters, she was in this class that had two teachers for I believe it was kindergarten, and they loved her so much because this personality, she's such a happy-go-lucky child, and they absolutely loved her. They loved her so much that they wanted her sister to be in their class, and they arranged to have the sister, but they didn't realize that her sister's personality totally different. So by the time I went to one of the teacher parent meetings, one of the teachers had the shake. She was like, your daughter, she does these things. I thought it was so funny because her personality definitely did not match with the teacher. But and to this day, it's so funny because I had bumped into that teacher like a few years ago, and they always remember the first child, like they always ask about the first child they had because again, she was such a wonderful personality. They never asked about the second daughter. So I totally understand how personalities are important when you're trying to match up your child, and I can see that even with special needs, especially being even more important.
Yes.
More important.
Yes.
So now you told me some of the challenges. Now, what are some of the good resources that you actually ran across that have helped your son?
One good resource is, first of all, I could not have done any of this without a system navigator. Go
ahead and tell us what that is, because I have no idea. Navigator.
Okay, so when you're in the military, you fall under EFMP, that's Exceptional Family Members Program. And they assigned you with a system navigator. And the role of the system navigator is to provide you with it's almost like a resource dump. They provide you with so much information, not just in the county, but it spreads out throughout different counties. And they're the hub for information. So like, say my special is, thank God he's verbal, but say that he's nonverbal. They will provide you with benefits. They tell you where to go to get your benefits. I know for 2 years, I didn't pay for pull-ups because it took me a long time to get my son potty trained, because of the delays. So they are the hub where you get your benefits, how to get your benefits. There's a whole team that will petition on your behalf, say that you're lacking insurance to cover certain treatments. They'll petition for you with Medicaid to make sure everything is fully covered. They tell you what schools to go to. They teach you, they not only give you the resources, but they have classes and they train you how to be an advocate.
That's wonderful.
So the system navigator is phenomenal.
That's awesome. Now, how long do you get to keep a system navigator?
It's year round. I still have them to this day. And even as your child become an adult, as long as you have that military affiliation, you have access to a system navigator.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, but now, if you're retired, are you considered still part of military or not?
Right, you are. But the good thing about the system navigator is that they give you so many resources that you not only become plugged in with them, but you become plugged in with the county. So I'm very plugged in with a lot of therapists. Usually, like, I know the principals by their first names.
Awesome.
Everybody know my son Omar on a first name basis, and it kind of carries throughout his clinical pediatric care as well. So, which is another huge advantage.
Awesome. Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're able to find those resources. And tell us a little bit of some of the progress that Omar has made that you've seen over the years.
Yes. Okay. Now, first, I would like to give honor to God, who's the head of my life.
Yes. That's a huge help there.
Because without him, all things are possible, to even give me the mind to leave Germany to come here to seek help. But as I will say, Omar was nonverbal. Before he was nonverbal, he used to speak. And then when he started speaking, we thought he was losing his hearing. We thought he was deaf. That's what initiated us to get him tested, because we thought he's not hearing us. And then he stopped walking. Wow. That was another, it was just a huge blow to the gut. He stopped walking, he stopped talking, and then he stopped making eye contact. And that was another, huge blow to the gut. Like, you're not even looking at me. He would look around me. My face is right here, and he'll look over there. He recognized my voice, but he would not look at me. So those are some of the first initial steps that that kind of led us to believe that, okay, we have a problem. But, that was, years ago. Now that he's 7 going on 8, Omar rides the bus by himself. He talks, he walks. He is in school year round. So he get like 2 weeks break. He get a 2 weeks break during the summer, and then a 2 weeks break right before they go back to school in the fall. But Omar is in school year round. He receives treatment year round. He receives both private treatment and public treatment. Private is where the military funds, the military insurance cover for him to go to the clinics for like speech and OT. Public treatments, he gets through the county. So he gets speech and OT and physical therapy, all of that through the county.
Wow. That's
so
wonderful.
It's double down services. And so because of that and the intensity of all of the services, he is very independent. He can dress himself, he can feed himself.
And he talks very well too. He talks very well.
And he takes out the trash. So.
Awesome. You even got him doing chores. That's wonderful. Try to get our kids can do chores. But that is wonderful. Oh my gosh, that's great to hear. Now, if for other parents who have special needs children, what is something that you would advise them as far as trying to where to go first to try to get help for the child?
Start with the county. Start with your county, because the county have so many resources. There are funds set aside just for specials, and a lot of those funds are not tapped into. They are not tapped into. And once I found out I had a special, and after I went through my grieving process, I literally tapped into all the resources that were available. Another resource for me has been the autism support group through social media. So there's different autism support groups, narrowed down to just whatever, specific area you're in. Those groups, they keep you going. They give you motivation. There's been testimonials. Different moms post their testimonials. They post their frustrations. There's several moms who go on there, say, I'm grieving today. My son or my daughter lost another skill. And it's just it's a true community, because it's other moms and dads who understand exactly, what you're going through. So,
you mentioned a grieving process. I'm sure that when you first found out, it must have been pretty difficult for you and your husband to find out, that when a doctor comes and tells you your child is going to have special needs. What are some of the emotional roller coaster type of feelings that you felt or feel? I'm sure you still have some good days, some bad days.
Right. When we first found out, my husband, he rarely spoke of it. He didn't even, so me and him didn't really have a dialogue about it. it wasn't until later, it was almost as if he had a hard time with accepting. And so did I, and, studies have shown that parents who are in denial, the children don't benefit when you're in denial about, the process of your child, where they should be tracking along. But the grieving part of it, I did not know that was a part of accepting the specials, right? So when I found out, it didn't hit yet until after I gave birth to my daughter, because I didn't want to be a certain way while carrying her. But after I gave birth to her, I cried. It was almost as if I lost a child. That was how heavy it was for me, because the child that we knew when we first went overseas was not the child that we knew when we brought him back to the States. It was almost like somebody turned off the light and boom, I have another child who lost all his skills. And it was frustrating because every little victory, you learn as a specials mom that you have to celebrate small, tiny wins. Oh my God, you got out the bed by yourself. Yes, like those little, because if you don't, it's easy to get depressed because you lost, you're holding on to who you lost. And then I had to learn that it's not about who I lost, it's about who I'm now, now have, who I now gain.
Yes.
And so we had to learn him. We had to really learn him.
How does he interact with his little sister?
Now, she was not planned. She was a surprise. But I truly in my heart feel that she was needed. He by her being here, it helped grew him a little bit more. It gave him a little bit more, I'm a big brother, let me protect her, let me help her. He's very sensitive to her, and their interaction, like now that they're older, they fight, argue and stuff.
Which is normal.
But their interaction is is priceless, because I feel like anytime that they're separated, I try to give them two different lives, because I don't want Alina to feel responsible for him.
Right.
Because he lacks certain social cues. So I don't want her to feel like, I never want to put the pressure on her that, I have to do whatever my brother does. So I made I put forth a lot of effort to make sure they have very different lives.
Uh-huh.
But when they come together, they're like this.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is so nice to hear. Oh my goodness, that's a wonderful story. That is wonderful. Well, Connie, I know you're a busy wife and mother, and with a special needs child. And on top of that, you recently quit your job and started a new business.
Yay!
I can't believe it. You started your own business, which is wonderful. What is the name of your business, and what do you do? What type of business is it?
So the name of my business is Brahmin Bodyworks and Sculpting, and what I do is make people feel great.
Before you continue, please spell that word, Brahmin.
Okay, so Brahmin is BRAHMAN.
Continue.
So I do body contouring and non-invasive cosmetic procedures to reduce stubborn belly fat.
Hey, and we women, we need that service.
Right.
Need that service. Oh my gosh. What in the world made you want to go into that type of field?
You know what? Okay, so the honest truth is, what made me go into the field was because we're busy. self-care. I just was not getting self-care. I see that everybody else, everything else, I'm the last on the totem pole. At some point, taking a nice 5 minute to 10 minute shower was a form of self-care with some smell good soap. You know, like
And
today
that was
I'm gonna
it.
get like
That's all you
today
can
I'm gonna
squeeze
get the
in.
flowers. Like today I'm gonna get the flower soap, or I'm gonna get fancy. I'm not gonna use Suave. I'm gonna go and get some Bath and Body vanilla, and but it still was like 5 to 10 minutes, and so I just really wanted to, it wasn't healthy. It's not healthy getting self-care because you stress, it breaks out your skin, you get full and bloated. And so I really want to tap into the world, not so much to just be a part of the beauty industry, but to be a part of that self-care where somebody can come, where you can be pampered and somebody can rub on you and love on you, and you can just relax and cry if you need to, laugh if you need to,
Love it.
the environment. I wanted to create a space where people can go to just breathe.
Wow, and think of how important that is for women because we tend to be caretakers of everybody else, the kids, the husband, the job, all these things, the home duties, and then we put ourselves last and we're always on the back burner. So I am so happy that you decided, hey, this is a time for women to come and feel good about themselves and just take care and pamper themselves. I think it's an awesome, awesome job. Awesome. But now, Connie, how do you balance running a business, your marriage, having a young family, and you have a special needs child on top of that? How do you balance all those different things?
Oh, yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Are we all?
Each day brings its new set of challenges. But one thing I did learn is that I set boundaries. I just set some hardcore boundaries, and I try not to let what I do professionally merge over into my home. Sometimes it does. There's been days where the kids were, with me setting up the spa, or helping me do some paperwork or fold some clothes or whatever. It happened, but I try to carve out time, at least 2 or 3 hours when they get home, to just focus and concentrate on them. And then I really don't answer the phone. I go to bed. Whether I'm asleep or not, I go to bed.
Awesome. That is wonderful, because that's one of the things that's hard for us to do, is to kind of turn it off, wind down. But even, bringing your children to kind of take part in the business, I don't see anything wrong with that per se, because also I think it's a wonderful thing to get your children involved in what you do, because they may find a love and a passion for it themselves, and maybe, you can pass on the business to them. That's what a lot of people do, so there's definitely nothing wrong with that. But it's wonderful also to always take time also to carve out time for your children. And I notice as you set like your hours and different things like that, you're not working like every single day, 9 to 5 every day. You actually have some days that you're not working. And I'm assuming that's, so that you can have some family time. Am I correct?
You are correct. So I do not work every day. I do not. I cannot handle it right now. And the days that I'm off is because, my kids, so the days that I'm off, they're all based around my children's schedule. And they're very active, from sun up to Sunday to sundown. So I have their schedules are packed with therapies and activities. Oh, if I can say this, I should have said it earlier, but I will say it now.
Definitely. No, please.
Another perk, one thing that I found to be extremely helpful with a special is swim therapy, because it self-regulates the entire body. So my son goes, and Alina goes, she learns too. They go to swim therapy, and then they go to all their therapeutic classes. And then the days that they don't have therapy that I'm off, that's a rest day for this girl.
Awesome. That's wonderful.
to recover and regroup.
Very good. Very good. That's wonderful. And then your husband, does he take part in the business also, or how does that work?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
That's usually how it goes. You know, well, hey, you come along for the ride.
Yes, he does. So he's very believe it or not, he is very hands-on in the business too. When we got the space, he helped me set up. He helped with the shipment, the ordering. He helped with the bookkeeping side of things and the marketing side of things. And yeah, he's just as active as I am.
Awesome. No, that's wonderful. I'm glad you guys are doing it. You're making it work. And I pray that the Lord continues to bless your business abundantly. So we are going to make sure that we provide the link for your business if anyone is interested in body contouring, sculpting, and those different things. And she does a lot of a myriad of other services also. Please don't hesitate to call her. Her name is Connie Lopez, and it's Bram Bodyworks, is it?
Brahman, Brahman.
That's why I told me to spell it, because I know I want to remember it. That's it. Brahman. Yes.
Brahman.
Yes, and give us your website address.
So the website is Brahman, BRAHMAN, BWS.com.
So make sure you look her up so that you ladies can go and pamper yourselves. Yes, awesome. All right, Connie, last question. What is some business advice that you would give to somebody who's considering starting a business like you did? Because I believe you were working for a company, right? And then you quit and, and started the business, which really surprised me when you called me and told me I quit my job and I started the business. Tell us how that little process went.
It went just like that. 2 weeks, done. No, research. I researched and I planned to quit. I didn't just, it seemed like I did just quit, but no, it was full research, full planning. I was doing training, intense training while I was still working. I was getting the business up while I was still working. A lot of the initial steps you take before starting a business, I was doing all of those things while I was still working.
Wow.
So research, and planning, financial planning, and family planning, because it changes the dynamics of everything. It changes the money and it changes the family. So it's a lot of sacrifice and strain that can be placed on both of those areas. So it was a lot of planning, late nights planning, and doing a lot of research while I was still working. And then when I was ready to put in my 2 weeks notice, I had already had all of the initial steps completed, where I was able to secure my license. I got all my credentials, passed my tests, exams and stuff. I was ready to open at that time. I had a plan in place and I was able to save up, and I was, able to start. And the best advice I can give is get into a business, low investment, high return.
Awesome advice. That's the best. Yes, definitely. You want to spend less and make a lot of money, and that's awesome. And that's a great business to be in. And you're located in a very nice area also. Can you give us the address?
Sure, I am at the Hilltop Village Center, right across the street from Fort Belvoir. So my address is 6487 Old Beulah Street, Alexandria, Virginia, 22315. I am inside Sola Salon Suites, Studio 16.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So anyone who wants to look her up, and by the way, the services are just for women, right? It's for, you do men also, correct?
I do men. So if you men are struggling with belly fat, I can definitely be of service to you.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, Connie, it was wonderful talking to you. And again, we're going to make sure that the link is written down here when we present the video, so that if people want to get in contact with you, so that they can feel good. She's in the business of making people feel good.
That's right.
That's awesome. So that we're going to make sure that we put the link on, so that if people want to be able to get in contact with you to obtain any of your services, that'll be on there. But I really do thank you, and I admire you so much for all the work that you do, and also you are an inspiration, you know, having a young family, special needs child, you're married, and now you're owning your own business. That's a wonderful thing, and it's an inspiration to women everywhere. So I want to thank you once again, Connie, for being with me. Please join me again next month when I have another conversation with another friend, with Conversations with Lady Pruitte. God bless you. Bye-bye.